call the meeting to get to order at 7:30 with a roll call, please.
Larry Simon,
Here.
Sandy Smith, here. John Boda,
Here.
Deborah Babel, here. Herb Blackstock,
Here.
Angelo Tetsalis,
Here.
Trustee Horn absent.
Okay. All right, would you follow me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Moving on to the approval of the agenda. Is there any additions or deletions to the agenda as presented? If not, a motion to accept the agenda would be in order.
So move.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion, we have the support. Is there any further discussion on the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next, approval of the minutes of September 21, 2020.
I'll make a motion if there are no additions or deletions, I'll approve the minutes.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion, we have support. Any further discussion on the minutes of September 21? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to, we'll have a presentation from our guest speaker, the undersheriff, about the report. The, what is it, quarterly report?
Yes, good afternoon. The quarterly report again. Numbers seem to be very, very stable. Obviously, the pandemic has affected the traffic and some of those smaller incidents. I did want to just take a minute to comment too on the jail is obviously one of our main concerns. We have a maximum capacity of 500 inmates, and when the COVID pandemic first started, we were able to get that number down to pretty close to 200. It's back up to about 300 with the courts reopening, but we have tested over 600 inmates. It's been a learning process, as you're all well aware. Testing inmates come in, and then the governor's order was requiring us to test inmates on the way out. So it's been really a logistical, trying to get all the tests and the tests come back. But we've got a pretty good process in place. We have not had another inmate positive since before Memorial Day. So I just wanted to pass that on just for your own information.
That's great.
Any concerns you think you have for our township or anything?
No, like I said, there was no critical incidents during the last quarter. I would have pulled the reports, and nothing, real serious reports. I keep an eye for. There were no critical incidents during the past quarter.
I did have a question. A resident called me the other day. He was coming down 29 here southbound, and a car went right through on Recor Road at probably 50 miles an hour, didn't even stop. I noticed there's been quite a few accidents out here. I don't see them, but I see all the debris laying in the ditch and tracks in our ditch and that. Should we be putting a warning light up there for temporary while the Edison deal is going on, or?
It's a balancing act. You can't prevent all the incidents. If you tried to put a warning at every intersection, we look at the statistics, and if there was a large increase, we monitor those. With the way we can track statistics now, we monitor those. So if there was a large increase in a certain intersection, we work with the road commission to see if there's something we need to be done. And there was an example in Kimball Township back a few years ago where the certain section of road, it was only like a quarter mile, the number of crashes like doubled or tripled in 1 year. And what the road commission determined was the surface of the road had deteriorated over the year, and you know how they get the little pockets, kind of like divots in them, and whenever it rained, those divots would fill with water, and they were all water-related crashes. They're all during the rain. We went back and checked the statistics, it was all during the rain. And what they did is they moved up their reconditioning of that road so they could drop the accident rate down. So we do watch that. And I've had the same situation that you were talking about in Marysville on 29. I watched somebody go through Huron Avenue and Boucher at about 50, 60 miles an hour, right in the middle of the daytime. Hard to say if it's, somebody not paying attention. It could be a lot of different factors. We're always concerned about alcohol. Substance abuse is what really surprised me, even as a police officer in the middle of the daytime. Now we know the pill problem, which turned into a heroin epidemic. A lot of that was occurring in the daytime. There'd be some horrendous accidents, or people were doing that, running stop signs or rear-ending people in the middle of the daytime for basically no reason. A lot of those are drug-related, unfortunately.
So what would my direction be? And I was called at night. I told them to call up at dispatch, central
Definitely.
dispatch.
Yeah, definitely. If there's any concern like that, call you. You always try to get the best description you can. If there's a license plate number, and sometimes we get lucky. Sometimes
Well,
we
he
get a
said it
lot
was-
of our calls from people calling in.
He didn't want to follow the guy. He thought the guy was going into the Edison plant, so he didn't want to.
Right. No, that's understandable. You get the most information you can, and you can get it to the dispatchers. Some of it's timing, but we're pretty fortunate. We get a lot of calls that way. So
Because this is a really busy intersection now with the Edison plant, with the
Right.
bridge being down.
Yeah, and I'll remind the township officers, we have a couple of commercial motor vehicle officers that I mentioned last time. China Township mentioned something similar at my last meeting. So I'll touch base with them tomorrow.
Who, commercial carriers?
We have two deputies that work commercial motor vehicle enforcement. That's all they do is enforce commercial motor
These
vehicles.
were cars.
Yeah, they work the daytime too. They're our traffic cars, so
Okay.
anytime they're in the area,
I was just wondering if we could maybe put a sign down there, that there's a stop ahead, so
you could get a hold of the road commission, because obviously they would be the ones that would
they would do that.
do the regulation for that.
I can call Kurt. Okay.
Call Kurt, and he would be able to give you some guidance on that.
All right, okay.
Okay?
No, that was all I had. I didn't mean to interrupt your report.
No, not at all. I didn't call anytime.
Okay. So does anybody else have any other questions for the undersheriff? Do you have anything else?
No, sir.
If not, thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
we'll see you
Thank
next
you.
quarter, you
Good
guys.
night.
Yeah, thank you.
Good night.
Okay, moving on to public comment. Is there anybody in the audience who'd like to speak about anything that's not on the agenda? Hearing none. We'll move on to the consent agenda. C1 is the financial reports monthly. C2 is the Park Commission meeting minutes. C3, St. Clair River Sewer and Water Authority meeting minutes, jeez. Michigan Department of Treasury notice and acceptance of correctional action plan. C5, notice of award, Eagle Grant for St. Clair Waterfront Redevelopment Plan. C6, CARES Fund reimbursement from St. Clair County Public Safety. C7, offer to employment of DPW operator. C8, Township Manager's Report, September 2020. Is there any questions on any of those things? I'd just like to say that Eagle grant was that $25,000 that we got for looking into what can be done with the property here on the river. So, if there's no questions on it, a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
Also move.
Okay.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a support to accept the consent agenda. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to disbursements. We have bills of $23,042.59. We have accounts payable of $277,188.79. We have a payroll of $37,200, $1,000.62. We have an EFT payment of $12,227.25. We have a tax account of $11,714,468.57 for a total disbursement of $12,064,127.82.
We're talking about the top of the back of the page, right?
What's that?
You're talking about the top of the page on the back of this.
It's on the back, yeah, disbursements.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills.
Okay.
I support.
We have a motion, we have a support. Is there any further discussion on the disbursements? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Blackstock?
Yes.
Babel?
Yes.
Boda?
Yes,
Smith, yes. Simons?
Yes, motion carries, we pay the bills. Moving on to unfinished business, we have none at this time. We'll move on to new business. NB1, Clerk's Office closure of Township Hall Election Day. Do you have something to present on
This is
that?
something they did in August as well, I take it?
We did, yes. Because of the need to have so much of the room and walking in and out. I believe the employees worked from home at that time? Is that correct, Cindy?
Right.
On their computers? So,
Now make a motion that we close the township offices for general business on Tuesday, November 3rd, 2020, due to the general election.
I support.
all right, we have a motion, we have a support. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to new business 2, Township Manager's Office, 2020, St. Clair County Parks Millage Distribution. I think it's pretty self-explanatory what we got here. Is this the money that we got from the county then?
That's the allocation for
Okay.
2020.
Is that just a receive and file, or do we have to,
No, you need to move.
oh, the action, okay, approved.
Right. You have to,
All right,
they
I'll
need
make-
the minutes, so.
I'll make a motion that we approve the St. Clair County Parks and Rec 2020 request for local millage distribution application as presented.
I support.
okay, we have a motion, we have a support for the St. Clair County Park millage distribution. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to MB3, Clerk's Office, Resolution 12-2020, Canal Special Assessment District. And what we're talking here is it's to spray the canals in the township. It's a special assessment, so everybody pays their portion. We had some volunteers that worked very hard on this, getting it all signed. Our assessor worked on it. I think our clerk worked on it. So this was a group effort, and they got it done in a hurry so we can get it to this meeting, so we can get it put on the taxes so the canals can be sprayed first thing in the spring. We won't do it until we've received the money, which we'll get the money from the taxes.
This is essentially a renewal, correct?
What's that?
It's
Basically.
basically a renewal. We've done this
Yeah,
once before.
the
and-
5-year one we had expired.
Okay.
This one's a little bit different. We're gonna do 2 sprayings instead of 1, so it's a little more money, but this has all been approved and signed, and so it's just up to the board now to,
So what
I
would,
guess we
through
gotta
the
read this
motions.
resolution, huh?
I can read the first part of it.
Okay,
Just the
go
first
ahead.
part of it. Whereas the petition has been filed with the Township Board of East China, County of St. Clair, and State of Michigan, Public Acts of Michigan 1954 is amended by the record owners of land constituting not less than 51% of the total recorded front canal footage in the district as set forth in the petition, requesting the improvements described as follows. Aquatic management between, cleaning of the canals between M29 and St. Clair River. And then it lists all the tax ID parcel numbers, anyone that has front footage on the canals. The price has increased since the last time it was done, which that would have been probably about 7 years ago when we first got the quote last time. So there is quite an increase in the cost. However, when it's spread out between all of the property owners, it's not as drastic as it appears first glance.
What is this, do we have to have a special hearing?
Yep, and we're gonna set a public hearing date for the next meeting.
So we'll
We
get
need
that
to
on
do
there.
that, yep.
Okay.
We have to send out public notices to everyone affected in the district, so those will go out tomorrow. Got those prepared today. So those will go out in the mail. We have 2 publications going out this week in the newspaper for our, in preparation of the public hearing at the October 19th board meeting at 7:15.
Okay.
Larry, do we have a special concern why it's being sprayed twice this time instead of just the once?
The residents from the last time we did it, they said it was ineffective, because when they spray it, it's just starting to get warm, and then within another 6 weeks or so, end up July area, the water's warmed up so much, the greens are just growing right back.
Okay.
So it was just not effective. And when we called the pond guy, I sat with the assessor and we got with them again, and they said we were the only ones that only did 1 application. Normally, it's a three-step application that everyone does. But we felt that it was cost prohibitive to go with the 3 this time around. Let's see how the 2 works out, and then they can go from there next time around.
Would it be more productive, like you say, to wait a little bit in the spring till it warms up a little bit more?
Well, and
do
we
the
did
first
that
one?
before. When I was still here, I'd push them off till end of June, closer to first part of July, and that helped a lot,
Did it?
but,
Okay.
yeah. So,
Okay, so do we have a support for this resolution?
I'll support.
Mr. Boda? Okay, we have a motion, we have a support. Is there any further discussion about the Canal Special Assessment District? I guess we don't need a roll call for this, right? Not spending any money. Yeah, we probably should,
yeah, let's do that.
Let's do a roll call.
Okay. Patsalas?
Yes.
Babel?
Yes.
Boda?
Yes?
Blackstock?
Yes.
Smith, yes. Simons?
Yes, motion carries. Moving on to MB4, Clerk's Office, set public hearing date.
Okay, yeah, that would be for this special assessment district.
That's what this is for? Is that our next meeting?
It is
Okay. So we'll do it, 7:15, huh?
15 minutes before.
Yeah.
That's what we've done in the past.
Yeah, so we need a motion to set the public hearing for October 19th, 2020 at 7:15 before our regular monthly meeting.
I make a motion that we set the public hearing October 19th, 2020 at 7:15 PM.
Support?
Okay, we have a motion, we have a support. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on, is there anything the township manager would like to say? We
No.
got your report, but you have any comments? Okay. As far as announcements, I have no announcements at this time, except, the election's getting closer, so everybody get their ballots in. So moving on to member comments, Mr. Pasalis.
I did see that the bike path was finished, a couple spots there. Did a real nice job. Turned out very nice on that bike path there. And the other thing is, I noticed on, for the election, the park commission, we're gonna have 3 people running, or 4 people running. What happens if we don't get enough people to run?
They will have to appoint, I believe that the people that are elected will have to reach out and appoint people to fill those terms until the next election, which is probably 2 years from now.
Well, normally, in the past, if it's that soon after an election, the next election, like at the next 2-year point, they would actually run the people that were appointed
Oh, okay.
to the finish, to the
Okay.
rest of the term.
'Cause it's
But
a
they can
4-year
appoint, they
term.
can appoint people to fill the other 3 or 4 positions that aren't filled right now. Okay.
Same on this board, if there's somebody that doesn't, we don't have enough, then it would be up to this board to appoint somebody until we can do the next election.
That's all I have, thank you.
Okay, is that all you had there, Ange? That's all you had?
That's all I have, thanks.
Mr. Boda?
One thing, I'd like to say that, I've driven by the park several times, wife and I, and, it's looking real good. It's, grass is kept well cut, everything else is, tip-top shape.
Good. We'll talk to the park chairman about that.
Who dat?
Okay, is that all you got, Mr.
Yeah,
Boda?
but that's what I got.
Yeah.
Yes, I would like to encourage residents when they're voting their AV ballots to get those turned in, maybe drop them off. We have a new large drop box outside the Township Hall, rather than mailing them. Then you know we've received your ballot. Those ballots get logged in when they're returned to the hall, and then those are stored in the vault until election day and processed.
Okay. Mr. Buckstad?
Nothing, thank you.
Ms. Babel?
I have 2 things. One's kind of a question. For the November 2nd board meeting, is that going to take place on Monday night with the election being the next day?
No, it'll be on Wednesday.
It'll be
Our
on
next
Wednesday,
meeting will be,
okay.
we approved that several months ago.
That's what I thought, but I
It'll be
didn't
Wednesday night.
find it in my
and not,
notes. Okay. Okay,
And we'll
and,
make sure that we talk to CTV and make sure they got that on their schedule. But
okay.
to the residents out there, our next board meeting will be on
Our next one was
not the
on
next one, it's 2.
19th. Yeah,
two meetings in November.
Yeah.
The one right after, it'll be the day after the election on Wednesday, I believe it's the 5th, is it?
4th.
4th?
Okay.
Election's on the 3rd?
Yeah.
Okay. Be the 4th of November at 7 o'clock, 7:30, here at the Township Hall.
and then I just wanted the township to be aware that we are going to have an open house at the Red Brick Schoolhouse this coming Saturday, the 10th, from 11 till 3. There'll be a pumpkin giveaway. Everything will be outside. Masks are going to be required. If anybody does want to go in and, look at the schoolhouse, we'll pace it so that there's not a group in there. But, yeah, and masks are required, but we are going to have that.
Good.
So, thought just to wrap up the season, and since nothing else was going on there, and
Yeah.
so, thought
It's
maybe
been
it'd
a
be
funny
a good.
season. We haven't had
Yeah,
so many things we can't have with this COVID.
right,
Okay, that all you had, Debbie?
that's it.
All right, I don't have much other than what Mr. Boda or Mr. Pasalis said about the bike trail. I see the paving has got done. I looked at it. It looks good. They tore a lot of that right out.
Right.
And, hopefully that'll be better for us. That's something the new board should be watching, how that goes. The other thing is we got the lift station over at Springborn Road. We got that all straightened up now, and the guy did a great job on that. So that's seated and new plants in there. We still have some work to do on the Meisner Road one. And they're starting to finish up on the one down here on Point Drive with restoration and stuff like that. So if there's any questions on that, get a hold of the township if a resident has a problem down there. Other than that, that's all I have.
Larry, I do have one more thing. How we come along on the bridge? Are we ahead of schedule, behind schedule?
I talked to Bill Hazelton must have been 2 weeks ago, and he said everything's going right along. They got the beams set. I didn't go down there yesterday. I usually go down on Sunday, but they got a lot of action. Those guys are working down there till 8 o'clock at night,
Right,
till
right.
it gets dark. So I think
So we're still on schedule for early November, or?
it's said in the, I read the road watch, I got the email on the road watch, which we get every week, and they're still predicting November the 16th,
Okay.
so that'll be good. And then Miser Road farther down is tore up too.
Yes. It shines.
That's supposed to be done this week, I think, the paving. Is there any other questions? All right. So I guess a motion to adjourn would be in order.
I'll make a motion to adjourn at 7:54.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a support. Any further questions? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you.